Welcome, everyone, to Courageous Creative Conquerors. This is Jean Voice Dart. It's my belief that everyone has a gift of creative expression. We were born to express ourselves to stay healthy and happy. Whether you are planting a garden, writing a story, building a cabinet, sewing a scarf, or singing a song, what matters is expressing from the heart. And the creative and expressive arts are a healthy coping strategy that shifts us from trauma to triumph. So join me as we listen and learn key tips and techniques from our special guest and courageous creative conqueror. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Iris Brewster, our featured guest for today, visual artist, painter. Hi, everybody. This is Jean Voice Dart here, and I'm here with Iris Brewster. I'm so happy to have you here with me today with Courageous Creative Conquerors. Iris, welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here with you.
I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you can be here and share your journey, your creative journey, because you're such a talented artist, and I just love chatting with you and sharing your art with the world.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate the opportunity, Jean.
Thank you.
We've known each other on Facebook for 14 years. We live
a long time.
5 minutes away from each other.
And then we find out that we don't live too far away from one another, which is exciting. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, we're going to have a lot of fun. Let's start off by looking at some of your photos of your journey from childhood onward. And tell me, we'll take a look at this first photo, but what's your first memory really of creative arts? I mean, it could be music, dance. Maybe you had an aunt who did crafts or whatever. What?
That I did or that I was inspired by?
Yes. What's your first kind of inspiring memory?
Well, my mother was a world-class violinist, and she did violin solos all over the world, and then retired and
wow,
moved to Ecuador, where she met my father. And my very first connection to the divine creativity was when she played Ave Maria on it.
Oh.
I was about 3 years old. And I remember this amazing feeling going through my body and going outside and tears coming down my eyes because it was so beautifully done. It was so touching in every way. So I had a little bit of a seed there of what beauty and artistry could feel like.
Definitely. And that song is just so powerful. It makes me cry just thinking
It was
about
very
it.
profound.
Yes. Amazing. Well, let's take a look here at a picture of you. Let's see. What age are you here? Tell us about this.
Well, I was born in Quito, Ecuador, and this image was just shows, I've always had curiosity. I've always been a really happy nature. And I know her. I still know her. She's still inside me. And I remember her. So she was just full of joy.
The way that you're looking up at the light, it just looks so hopeful and joy-filled.
And I just always remember that very, very early time as being a gentle, loving time.
Tell us, what do you remember about your father? Did he encourage you with the arts?
He, what he wanted more than anything was for me to be more intellectual than artistic. So I think he was my greatest spiritual and his teacher and inspiration, because it just made me want to go the other way much more.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
This was in Ecuador again. This is my baby sister, Pixie, who was always just an incredible cheerleader. And she was 17 months younger. And that was my first grief. She became my first grief journey. She died at 19 from a heart attack 2 months before my wedding.
Oh my
I only
goodness.
had her for 19 years. And she's always a part of me to this day. And we were very, very close.
Do you feel that the arts helped you get through this grief
I
journey?
I did a lot more writing, yes, during that time.
Mhm.
I did journaling, and I took an art class to get out of the house and to express myself in a safer place.
Uh-huh.
And what actually evolved into a learning tool, and it was expressed through art because that's how I found it. That's how I evolved
Yes.
through the expression of writing and art.
Yes. I mean, the arts are just so powerful in that way to help us release emotions and feelings. And oftentimes, when we do that, our art is even more beautiful and more powerful.
Yeah, this was, I had a modeling contract from the time I was 14 till I was 18 when I had to have back surgery. I hurt my back. And this was one of the free shots. And I've always liked it so much because I'm 15, just turned 15 years old. And there was, it just shows somebody who's, open to whatever's coming her way. And there's some depth to her from experiences in the past. I mean, 15 years of experience. And I just like her so much here. It prepared me for what was coming my way, the good, the bad, the beautiful, whatever. But I
I
really
love it.
think she's really strong and courageous here.
Yes, very courageous there. That's a really wonderful photograph. Okay, we are going to quickly look at some photos, just flashing through them of pivotal times in your life. And I know people are anxious to see your beautiful artwork. Here we go. This is your senior year. And of course, at age 18, you're hugging a tree and you're ready to find your mission and purpose in life here. And this next photo is your bridal photo. And you had mentioned what happened. Your sister died 2 months before the wedding. We can see a mixture of love and sadness on your face there. That was a pivotal time for you. And here in 1975, your son's christening. You're a new mother. You're moving through adulthood. You're a new mother. And here you are with your husband, Tom, the love of your life, and so important in supporting you and helping you through this life journey and grief journey. And your best friend and art encourager who really encouraged you to become what your purpose was, to become an artist, Diane. And this photo here is of a very important friend, Janet, and art therapist who helped you during the time when your son died. And we're going to get more into that in just a moment. And here's your son, your remaining son, Nick. These photos are more current today. And your grandchildren. And your paintings really show your love for family and how that got you through the tough times. So let's go back now to that one photo of you with your art therapist friend, Janet, and tell me about the second grief journey that just kind of skyrocketed you into rediscovering your passion and love for art.
Literally, I think it was 3 weeks after my son Christopher CT died, she invited me to her studio and had this when I saw the huge canvas against the wall, blank wall, I looked at her. I said, "You've got to be kidding." I was just like, "Oh my God." And it took me about 2 months, but I put all my grief in there and was able to come out the other side.
Yeah.
So it's because of her, really.
Wow. What a gift to have her help you walk through your grief using the arts. Tell us about this.
And this was the big canvas that she greeted my grief with at her art studio. And I worked on it for about 2 months, and then I just built on it over the first year of grief. But in the center is the tree of life. And right in the middle, you can see the grief in the white lines there. She's covering her mouth. And then the whole idea is that the light goes, the tree of life goes on. There's acknowledgement of myself as a mother and my child. But there's growth, and there's belief that it doesn't die. The love never dies. And then the upper left, that's my son as part of my tree of life, part of my grief. And it's multimedia. It's got wood on it. It's got handmade papers. It has oil. It has acrylics. It's got everything. You name it, I threw it at it. So
yes, I love the mixed media. I love, there's so many emotions coming through here and so much going on. Mm-hmm.
You can see that there was actual wood paper, and I'm trying to think of the trunk, a tree trunk. They're right here. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it just got built on,
Just fascinating.
Is the center of grief.
Mm-hmm.
And then that the constant presence of my son. He's not gone. He's just he's there. He's part of the tree of life, part of the journey.
Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Very powerful. And there are people out there that are going through that similar journey of loss of a loved one and grief, and just knowing how important that was for you and how that helped you get through it is a real gift. So thank you for sharing that. And what about this one here?
Now, this is a multi-collage piece. Her hairs are all cut strip paper from paper. This is kind of a theme in all my art, really. It's birthing and rebirthing and never giving up, and knowing that, life is a cycle. There's death, there's rebirth, there's, the whole cycle. And this is, it's just hope, and it's never ending possibilities,
Yes, so beautiful.
And he carries one child, and the other child is already crowned and is going, it's just, that's this whole, giving of ourselves as women, as creatrixes, the consistency and the constancy of life, and
letting go. Yeah. Creating and letting it go. And we do that with art too. We create the art and then we let it go and start over. And
yeah.
Well, let's look here. The next one.
Well, I call her my muse because she had not been around for, I'd say, COVID kind of knocked it out. I did a couple landscapes, and they're pretty. I have them here. but they were landscapes. There wasn't anything deep about them, And so this is my muse saying, okay, I'm here and I got some good stuff that's ready to come out. And this was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of my artwork, birds are really important. Those cherries are really important. And as you can see, there's a lot of harvesting to do.
Oh, yes. That's brilliant. And I love the little dots all over because it feels like energy. And it feels very musical to me. I mean, I
I
love
think
it.
you're right, Dean. It is
Yes.
musical. There's rhythm around it.
Yeah, there's um like the force be with you kind of a thing, the energetic beingness of all life. Yeah.
I call this Persephone's journey. Because she has to go underneath for 6 months. That's the promise Demeter made, and so you can feel the energy. There's a lot of energy in this, and it's ready to go get seeded and harvested. I love it. I really love it.
Yeah, I do too.
So this one was one of the first one. The first one that came this year, actually, after the muse visited me. It's watercolor brushes, and I've always loved pointillism, the period of pointillism, and it's very meditative, and you really get lost in the detail. So this is a mother looking into the future. You can see the nest with 3 eggs, which are my grandchildren.
Mm.
I always have a bird in these paintings and a little girl holding onto the skirt and looking into the future, present, past, and future.
The colors are just so vibrant. I notice you love color.
I
and
do. I
and
think
and
that's from my Latin American roots.
yes,
Lots of color.
beautiful.
Everything, yeah.
And there's that theme running through your artwork so far, with the importance of family and letting go and grief and healing. And but there's also just a real sweetness and beauty and joy. It's like coming together in with the grief. I see that.
Yeah, and I love looking at it again. I'll look back. I have it in a portfolio, but there's a butterfly in the back of her hair holding her hair, and the eggs in the nest. What do they mean? And what's that bird that's in the tree there with the feathers going down? And all of it is coming out of somewhere beyond, and
Yes.
the trust of that. And when it's finished, you're healed. I mean, there's more healing happening, all the time.
That's beautiful the way you worded that you're just trusting, you're having fun, you're creating something. And then when you get done, you look at it and you go, oh, look at that. There's
Yeah.
butterflies over there, and then there's a butterfly in her hair, and there's a twig in the bird's mouth. And and then you get, oh, that means something to me.
Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, that piece makes me happy.
Yeah, it's fascinating. That's what's so beautiful about art therapy and the creative arts. We receive these gifts later. We receive the gift when we're journeying with it and we're creating. There's a great gift in the journey of it. And then afterwards, when we look at it later, we get another gift. And a couple of years later, we get another gift. And it's really wonderful. Yeah.
This is my oldest granddaughter. I mean, it's supposed to be when she was little. I call it Golden Tide. Every detail of it I love. the sand bucket that she's carrying. And again, you see the bird in it, and there's movement and there's color, and there's such a connection there,
I love this one.
Yeah.
I adore this one. Yeah, it's just, there's something about, and even the sun, I mean, all of it is just alive.
It's so alive, and there's so much love in it. And
Yeah, but there's a sadness there too.
yeah.
But, I mean, it's all of your paintings are about life, and life is this wonderful mixture of sadness and joy, and it's rich, and your paintings are all rich with color and enjoying all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. And look at this. This is one of my favorites too.
Well, Chagall is one of my greatest influences. I absolutely love Marc Chagall's art. And I didn't know where that blue cat came out of until I ran across by accident one of Marc Chagall's paintings of a big blue cat. And I knew when I did this piece that I wanted the blue cat there. And I think it's my protector. For some, the cat showed up a couple of times. There's a bird in the middle of the sunflower. There's a bird carrying the sunflower and the cat. And then the wild woman, there's a little girl still by the nest down below.
Uh-huh.
The wild woman, dancing. I mean, wasn't the completed one. I thought I sent you the whole completed one, but you get the idea of it.
Well, this is much larger. We're showing you sections of it, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're showing, this is what, just to let our viewers know that we're looking at different sections of it, and then we'll look at the whole thing, because it's difficult to see the detail when we look at the whole thing here. So we're looking at this now. Let's look here.
Oh, no, this is another one. Yeah, this one, man, Gene, I love the sky on this one. I think it's, the sky on this one just blew me away.
Wow.
And the bird carrying, the pod of, my 3 grandchildren, basically. And yeah, this one's pretty special to me.
It's very sweet. It feels like a lullaby. I mean, it just feels really sweet, and little bubbles and things, and very gentle. Yeah.
And it's my grandson and my 2 granddaughters, and when they were younger.
So this is another where we're showing sections of a larger. Yeah.
And there's the cat again.
When you are doing it, I know, you say it's your love for your grandchildren, but what are you feeling when you're actually doing it? When you're doing, and you don't put the paper down and get the brushes out and say, okay, I'm going to do this. You just let go, right? You're not really sure what's going to happen.
I totally let go, but I will tell you that this triangle of figures, which is, is part of art. I got inspired by one of these paintings by Paul Gauguin. And it was like, I had just looked through this art book, and about 2 days later, I started this piece without thinking or whatever, and it came out that way. And I think that reaching my age and going through the experiences I've gone through in my life, the trust of whatever is in that area, subconscious experience, life experience, is only benefited by the depth of love and forgiveness that you have with whatever your experiences are, whatever losses you have, joys, trusting the creative process
Mm-hmm.
is really based on how much love you give out and how much it's unconditional and non-judgmental. And it's
Exactly.
that when that intention is there, magic happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be an artist that just can put out. It, that has to be there. That feeling has to be there. If I have anything that I'm still holding on to or a little bit angry about day before yesterday or whatever, which I don't do very often,
Mm-hmm.
the art doesn't happen. It just doesn't. I have to write
Yeah.
it out first. If it's that,
Yeah.
yeah. Any-
Yeah. And for me too, there's a connection where I might do some journaling or writing. One day okay, today is a poetry day. I'm going to write something out. But then oftentimes I might take that poem after I've finished it and then say, oh, I've got to paint. I've got to do some graphic art or something with this poem. I need to get it out in a different way. It inspires me. Or a song. I look at the poem and I think, oh, I'm hearing music to go with this poetry. This is a song. Sometimes to go deeper with a different art medium. And that's really exciting as well. So, do you sometimes do your paintings and then you feel like writing?
I do journaling, and that is getting as much more critical thinking of my emotional landscape, because I want to get to do the artwork. So I have to cut through the bull and what's authentic and what isn't authentic and in what I'm feeling. And
Yes.
the writing does that. So it's really just pretty cut and dry emotional surgery when I
Yeah.
write.
Very good. Emotional surgery. Well,
Yeah.
we're running out of our time here. So we're just have this last one here, which I was so honored and grateful that you donated to include in the charitable effort, the Courageous Creative Conquerors book. This is in the book. And I wanted you to share. You said that you created this mixed media art after your son died. Could you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I created this collage. I think it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years after my son died. And no, yeah, and it was just this feeling of being liberated from the heaviness, and the sorrow is heavy, and you got to get to a point where, not you, but I had to get to a point where my sorrow and my happiness goes into the same place, a river, and it becomes equanimity. And from that river, you you get all the nurturing you want, and it comes. That's what came out. This is what came out.
I think this just so accurately describes where you are right now, and that glowing breastplate and joy and flying to the sun and just enjoying life is just a beautiful expression of getting through that difficult time with the loss of your son. And of course that doesn't just happen and it's over. It's always renewed and working on that over and over again, as you do with your art. But this is a really beautiful expression of moving forward and flying free through life, enjoying life and looking to the sun. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Just his life counted, and the greatest thing I could do is live life fully in his memory.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that with people and for giving me your time today to pick your brain a little bit. And it's been a huge gift for many people out there, I'm sure, who have been through this. Many of us lose loved ones, and it's just part of life. And for you to share your art journey and how it has changed your life and helped you heal is a real blessing. So thank you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Jean. And I'm glad we finally got to this, but I was a little bit, there was some trepidation because, you're opening up, your life to people that you don't know.
Yeah.
But I trust you, and you are a light in this world and full of love. So
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you. And thank you, all of you, for tuning in to Courageous Creative Conquerors. And we're just so glad to have you here. Thank you, Iris. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
To see more Courageous Creative Conquerors videos, join the weekly Creative Community calls, or learn more about private sessions, visit jeanvoicedart.com.